leant forward and said, "Gentlemen, excuse my attire. I wasn't aware that you were coming in and I was taking this presentation. I apologise." And I said, "I know nothing about your industry, but I'm here to learn." Unfold their arms, I walked away $100,000 worth of business advertising that.
Welcome to another episode of the Back in My Day podcast. On this one, I got to speak to Patch Geerin. Patch is actually a very accomplished recruiter with lots of years of experience in the industry, which was great for me. So I got to speak to him. It was almost like he was a bit of a business mentor for me, which was great. So we spoke about what it was like in the day that he used to recruit and the changes that are happening now. And also a lot about a very eventful life and interesting life that he's led. So Patch was happy to share lots with us and we really enjoyed the episode and we hope you do too. So yeah, please do like and share if that's the case.
Thanks so much for coming on the podcast. I was going to start by asking where you were born. Some memories from your early days.
Big situation because I was fostered as a child. I don't really know where I was born, either in Sydney but I was raised in Queensland, New South Wales, from the age of 4. From what family background, I found 6 brothers and 2 sisters back in 1982 in Starfellas, VI, and they told me different sort of stories. They really didn't know much about what happened, but I came from a very poor sort of family who couldn't afford me, and I was taken off them, and I went through a series of foster homes before I ended up with Geerin's, where from the age of 7, where I was raised in Dubbo.
So you lost your eye when you were quite young?
1982.
Right.
When I was still in business consulting.
Right, okay.
One of my wild nights out, I got intervened in a brawl which I should have stayed out of, and I got stabbed.
Oh no, right, okay.
So I had 2.5 years convalescent in hospital and went straight back into the industry at the same level that I'd left, which was a divisional management level.
And you've been known as Patch since?
Yeah, indeed. He didn't want to hire me. He felt I was too not conservative enough for the group. It was Adamant Associates, a very conservative group. And after I'd written in $60,000 in the first month there, he turned around, sat in front of me, said, "I always liked you." And said, "Joel Barton," I said, "You don't like me at all. You don't want to hire me. It's only your sons and sisters." He said, "I'm going to nickname you Patch." And it just stuck right through the industry for the clients. So there it was.
And that's
So now on the Central Coast, everyone runs in and say, Patch. Nobody, if they turn around and say, "G'day, Kevin," I wouldn't answer. Because I wouldn't know who to be.
You've been known Patch for that long now?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So since 82, yeah.
So do you remember much from your younger years and the schooling and
School years?
Yeah.
Yeah, very scholastic. I just got a change for this. I won this batting bowling cricket averages in a bodybuilding shield competition throughout the central west of New South Wales, which took in Bathurst, Orange, Narrabeen, Wellington, Gallowgate, mate. All the schools in that area there, we had a bodybuilding shield cricket competition. And I got that medallion 65 years ago for batting and bowling averages. So I was a very good cricketer, good tennis player. Played competitive rugby league as well. And my daughter, my birthday was only last Monday, went out with this 9-carat gold chain because I'd never had a chain to go with it. It's just been sitting in the drawer. So she said, "Dad, I'll get you a nice chain for your birthday and you can have it round your neck."
Yeah, that's great. How was your birthday?
Yeah, good, mate. Just very quiet. Here they just give you a card and a little colour cake. And then from there I went out to dinner with family. We went to the Everglades, a nice family meal. Our 2 granddaughters, 15 and 12, and they made a cake for me. And I've got 5 other grandchildren.
So you got a big family?
Yeah, 7 grandchildren all come. But only 2 children I had of my own.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're both in their 40s now.
Right. And I'm going to ask you about occupation. I know that you were in recruitment, and that was pretty much, was that in recruitment?
From the age of 25.
Right.
I started with Greek then, which was probably the biggest in Australia, West Star, BSB, which is part of the Street Bureau. Right. Spent 5 years with them. And then I was moved from Parramatta to Bankstown as branch managers back into the city as divisional manager, reporting to John Powell. John Powell went out on his own, the director of BSB, asked me to go with him. We spent 10 years together there. I was never a partner, I was just senior divisional manager for him. Yeah. We pulled a very good following over that period of time.
What drew you into recruitment? How did you know that you were going to be good at sales?
I had studied 2 years of accounting, never finished it. 2 years of marketing, never finished it. Got married. My first career was teaching professional ballroom dancing. I taught Jacktown Samba, Rutland Stockshot, Pasadena Waltz in South Australia with Frederick Dancing Studios. I married a ballroom dancer who was a competitive ballroom dancer, and she said, now get a real job. So I just went to West Staff and they said, we like your background, we'd like to hire you as a consultant. And then started me off on the recruitment career.
So why the dancing? What got you into the dancing?
I'd always liked a bit of rock and roll, a bit of disco dancing when I was young, and I was quite good. And a mate of mine was national marketing director of Swift and Company, which had Christian Dior, and the bloke who owned that, Jim Keeld, also owned Frederick Dancing Studios. And I was just working in retail, and I'm working in holiday around Australia. Running to him, and he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm just working in local retail operation here in South Australia. And he said, well, you were always a good dancer. He said, I know the Financial President Dancing Studios, you want to meet you? So I went down, trained for 6 months, went through the props, silver and the gold, and they hired me.
So was that an enjoyable time teaching?
Very enjoyable it was.
Yeah.
I remember taking the first lesson, the manager there, Bob Wright, I remember his name vividly, standing there on the sideline watching me. And I went through the process with new lady was instructing on the basic steps. At most days you danced in front of the mirror. So you did do part of the part. And after I finished, I went off and had a big smile on my face. I went up to Bob and thinking he'd shake my hand. And I said, he didn't say a word. I said, well, how do you go? Wait, he said, very, very good. Next time teach him the lady steps. I thought, okay. And when I took the next lesson, I said, this is the advanced method. So that was a career of 5 years, actually.
So what do you enjoy more, dancing or cricket?
Recruiting.
Oh, recruiting.
More money.
Right.
And more. I was involved, participated consultant the last 2 years with Manpower worldwide. I helped establish all the engineering recruiting divisions. On a 2-year contract, they headhunted me from Julie Warner Consulting, the medical recruitment group I was with, which was my engineering recruitment background right away. Yeah. And I was on about $100,000 at that time. That was good money in those days.
Yeah. So how long did you work with Julie Warner?
15 years, on and off. I spent 5 years there to leave them. In between that time, I set up Ardea in Australia, which is a Swiss-made company, which went on to become merging with Echo, become Echo. They're still around today, so I was the first general manager there. I set up April Consulting in Australia to help with the management team, and I was the foundations of John Small Associates, and his son Scott Small took over, and now he's converted into another group as well with mergers and acquisitions. But I had a 2-year brief to set up. We had electronic data processing in them days, not ONT. So it was an EDP manager, a manufacturing manager, a sales and marketing manager, and a manager and an accounting manager. And in those days, you had to have relevant qualifications depending on what you were paying. If you're an engineering consultant, you had to have a background in engineering and understand mechatronics, mechanical, civil, construction, process, the whole lot. Yep. If you're an accountant, you had to come out of a giant environment, a commercial environment, and understand balance sheets, financial management, management accounting, and so on. Oh. So it was relevant to your portfolio, what you handled. So if you were talking to someone, they knew you had the knowledge to be able to discuss with various opportunities, which I think it was also very sales accented in those days. Your salary reflected your budget. So if you were paid $80,000 or $90,000, I paid my consultants, plus in them days was fair one gear, which is worth about $35,000. They had to write me $400,000 a year. Right. So only when they first started, been here for 12 months under the control of a Dutch managing director, had written $300,000, had hired all the consultants that we let go in April. Went over there, I just wanted to sweep the broom completely. You've got people here I don't know, we've let go. My people are going to write you 40, 50,000 inside 2 years, get it to me, bottom line. Right. They bought it, we accomplished it. Then they wanted to go into, not grow organically, but to go outside and acquire other companies. I wasn't a virgin in that position, especially. So I only had the 2-year contract just to get them up and running.
Nice.
So it was very interesting. We did a lot of, so one of the interesting ones was with Patch Television. They were a indigenous radio-controlled broadcast television. They'd had a meeting that morning with Boardroom banks. This actually wasn't with our neighbours, with children falling consulting. It was outside the portfolio expertise. I had no knowledge of your industry, no knowledge at all. And Dennis Warner, today that company has evolved into buying and selling medicals.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and generally, he said to me, Patch, he said, you've got to do it. I said, Dennis, look at me. I've got a t-shirt and a pair of jeans on. It's Monday day. I can't do a presentation in front of a chair with Nancy, the general manager of Patch Television and the HR director as well. He said, mate, I can't do it. He said, you're the digital manager, you've got to do it. So I walked in. They just had a meeting with Morgan Banks. They had their arms folded, sitting back like this, thinking, well, this is a waste of time. I leant forward and said, gentlemen, excuse my attire. I wasn't aware that you were coming in and I was taking this presentation. I apologise. And I said, I know nothing about your industry, but I'm here to learn. Unfold their arms. I walked away with $100,000 worth of business advertising money.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So they were fun days, you know. And the manpower presentation was for Grant Paul. I went along with the GM to do that presentation. And in them days, something I don't know if you do it these days, but it was all retainer-based exercise.
Right.
So you take a percentage degree up front, then a percentage when you submit a shortlist, and the balance upon completion. And it was all signed off officially, but they would also give you $5,000 to $10,000 advertising money, which would not the seat not around. So you put it into Brisbane Courier, Financial Review, or Sydney Morning Herald.
Yeah.
Those were the areas that you put your ads in. And I ran all the ads as well, so
Right.
yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed my recruitment days.
So was it very much a work hard, play hard type?
Yeah, very much so. I did tell my CEO. I was down at the beach state with a couple of mates. And one owned a financial planning business and had asset licenses, securities and dealers licenses. Got into a fight with another guy. And I pushed the guy aside. I said to this bloke, he's what mate today, just sold his financial planning business about 2 years ago. I said, you can't get involved, mate, you'll lose all your licenses. I said, I'll take this guy outside and just teach him a few lessons. And I did, I could fight. And I knocked him down a few times and I turned around to come back and he came at me with a knife. But when I leaned in, he put the knife 4 inches through my ear and straight up. Wow. So I was dead when I dropped the barrel. The door tells me I died at the operating table, but they brought me back. So I've always been, the old fella up there's not ready for me yet.
How old were you then?
27, 28.
How long ago did you stop recruiting?
62. So it's probably been 17, 18 years that I've been retired.
Were you ready to retire?
I enjoyed it. I didn't want to come into a home. But I got very ill. I had 3 severe infections that nearly killed me. I lost 14 kilos in weight. I was falling over all the time with balance issues. I'd had 2 spinal operations. Got out of a wheelchair because I'd gone out one night with a group of mates, left the Velvet Cup function at 5 o'clock and got bashed on the way home. Ended up in a pool of blood in Bondi Junction. So I had 25 staples and 15 stitches in the back of my head. And they damaged C3 right to C7. So I was in a wheelchair for 6 months.
Wow.
I wasn't going to stay in that. I had too much to get up and go, so I got out of bed, went onto a walker. Since I've come in here, I could have had a walking stick now because I've still got balance issues. But I've always been a keep-do type person.
Yeah,
This wasn't going to beat me. I was going to make the best of it. I didn't want to come in. I was quite happy with it home, but my daughter couldn't look after me. And my wife passed, so we were all living together and just decided that, Dad, you've got to go into a home. Yeah. But I looked around, I thought, well, I got no restrictions on me. Just still got all the faculties. I go out 3 days a week. I go into your mind and have coffee or go to Boardroom, shopping. I can stay out overnight at the mate's place down at Darling Point. I can go out here any time I want at the night time, as long as I'm back before the next day, by 12 or 1 o'clock. So I'm lucky in that way. Yeah. So you put up with the state of mind. I've seen guys, I've lost friends in here, but come in and just give it up.
Yeah.
Give it up. Like, I miss my dog, I miss my wife, or something about it. I said, make the best of it. You know, you still able to get out. No, I don't want to go out. They never get out there. Passed away. They were 10 years younger than me.
Oh, look, it's the way we should all be. If you just make the most of whatever's in front of you.
It
It's
is,
the best
it
way to
is.
live,
And it's not, it's a good situation here. 3 meals a day, coffee whenever you want it. Beautiful nurses to look at.
They look after you well, the nurses?
They do, yeah. I'm on a complex medication and everything like that because I've had floods, I've had strokes, I had a brain injury, and the head, the bleeding on the brain with a massive belly. They don't really know what happened, but all I remember is just looking up and seeing a bunch of guys across the footpath at 5 o'clock in Bondi Junction and trying to go through the middle of them. And next after that, I don't know, I can't recollect anything.
You've led quite the eventful life.
Well, that's what my daughter said, Dad, I think you've used up all your life, so she said, you're better off in there, take it easy. She's very protective of me. So, but I keep active, I read a lot, I like biographies, and I'm an avid crime, mystery type reader with James Patterson.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I read 3 or 4 of them a week.
Do you like watching the crime shows? I love watching, me and my wife love watching the UK crime shows.
Yeah, I like CSI, I like Law and Order, all the old reruns of Law and Order.
Yeah.
Crime investigation here in Australia, things like that, and going back to the old gangster days.
Yeah.
Because I still remember meeting a lot of those guys at the cross in my younger days.
Oh, yeah.
Met a lot of them. And, today I've still got a friend, she's 84, 86 now, I think. She was a top model in them days under the name of Von Ford. And she married an Australian rugby league captain, a guy called Ian Walsh, who captained Australia many, many years ago. And she kept his name after he passed on. She was a showgirl at the cross. She tells stories of the murders that Lenny McPherson got away with.
So she knows a lot of the stuff.
She was sitting there one night, she told me, and Lenny McPherson actually crawled her under the table and shot this guy dead in front of her. A guy called Gary O'Connor, he went under the name Ducky. I never met him, but she told the story, and she was a showgirl, as I said, at the cross, so she hung around with them. She swore blind it was Lenny McPherson, but she went in behind him for 2 years. Lenny was getting married that night, and Thousand Guests said he never left the wedding, but he done. He later on admitted before he died. But one of the murders they never got him for.
The cross is a very different place now. It's
pretty
much no more.
I wouldn't have been to the cross 50 odd years.
Yeah.
So
the lockout laws completely stopped the crosses.
yeah, no, I've got friends that live around Potts Point. They say it's all changed now.
Yeah.
And the Burger Beef Steak, the Egg Room Bar, City Tax, Merrick's Cup Bar, they were all islands in the old days. They were good places to be. And you entertained a lot of clients too. So in them days it was a standard thing to take clientele.
So you enjoyed that, a lot of taking clients?
I did because out of that relationship I had the Future Xerox account for 25 years before I resigned, consistently. They didn't go to anyone else once they dealt with me. If you would go on LinkedIn and have a look at my testimonials, even some of my colleagues, I was probably the best recruiter that companies had hired to work with and so on. I was pretty fun. If I didn't know something, I researched it, and I got to learn things fairly quickly.
And it sounds like you still keep an eye on what's happening. You still look.
Yeah, but a lot of friends of mine have got out on their own now, their own commercial organisation. I've heard of a guy called Pete Wildman from Allied Health Professionals.
No, I'll have to look at it.
I hired Pete and trained Pete. So he gave me a testimonial and said that Kevin has not only read the book, but he wrote the book.
Yeah, that's great.
But Dennis Ford, I still keep in touch with. He's still involved now in buying and selling medical aesthetics.
But they don't do recruitment anymore.
A little bit. Well, I've been doing all the talking. You've been asking some questions.
Oh, do you know what? It's been great. It's been great hearing about all your stuff. I just had a couple of quick questions, if that's all right, to finish off. If you could go back and give advice to your 16-year-old self, what would it be?
Follow my mother's advice and go to university. Become a lawyer or a doctor. That's what she wanted from me.
Yeah.
I was too headstrong and wanting to travel and too stupid to take that advice.
You wish you'd have done the uni.
Wished I had, yeah. I wouldn't have been a doctor, I would have been a lawyer. Probably LLB or not a solicitor, as a LLB. I would have made a good barrister, I think. Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who is moving into aged care?
Probably do your Cert 3, your Cert 4, move through the realms of promotional opportunities and get as much experience as possible in aged care and midwifery like you people do and other areas of aged care. Maybe do a master's in occupational health and science and become a nurse practitioner so that you've got all that background which would set you up, I think, for a management consulting role in allied health.
How about a resident that's coming to live in aged care? Is there any advice you'd give to someone that's to come and live as a resident in aged care? Any advice that you'd give them to make that transition from living at home to
do that sort of education? If they haven't already done Cert 3 or Cert 4 or they haven't done a master's or something or other, it just depends on what their aspirations are. Yeah. One question I always avoided, the hackneyed question was, where will you be in 5 years' time? And whenever one of my consultants asked that question, I pulled them aside and really sort of went to town because I didn't like the question. And I don't think, I didn't get asked that question. I did hear it was funny. The guy that asked it sitting there, and he said, where would you like to be in 5 years' time? So I'd like to be sitting in your chair, interviewing you, and telling you your unsuccessful to ask stupid questions. I never got the job.
You understand, but you didn't get the job. Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
What do you think is key to a long and happy life?
Well, I was married for 45 years, and we were happy. We shared nothing in common in terms of mutual interest. I was sports addict. I had played tennis, cricket, football, competitive level. She didn't enjoy sports. The only interest we had together was ballroom dancing. She loved dining out. Her favourite was Japanese. I think getting married, and she was my soulmate right to the end.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. I lost her 8 years ago. Much younger than me.
Right, okay. Yeah.
She was only 62 when she passed.
Oh, wow, okay.
And she was a nurse.
Oh, she was a nurse?
Her second career was nursing. First was she went for Revlon as a secretary to the chief chemist, and then the second career was nursing for the last 40 years of her life.
She obviously enjoyed
17 years, I think, in Royal Shore Orthopaedics and the balance in Gosford in aged care.
So she obviously enjoyed being a nurse.
She did. She enjoyed. Not a registered, she was endorsed as a nurse because she was the only trainee taken out of all graduate nurses coming out of university. She was the only certified endorsed role nurse taken on by Royal Offshore in their traineeship.
Yeah, right.
So she was very proud of that. She was a very good practical nurse. Yeah. Studied very hard to get through the exams and wasn't a scholastic type person. She basically really had to work hard to get through exams.
Yeah.
But she was a brilliant practical nurse.
She didn't fancy being a recruiter?
Oh, she never made it as a recruit. She was Scorpio, she was too introverted.
Right.
See, I'm a Cancer, I'm very extroverted. So, but somewhere down the line, I lasted 45 years.
But one more for you. If you could relive any moment from your past, what would it be?
Because I started in chartered accounting with Philip Starkey, I would have continued on and finished my chartered exams and then gone out into the commercial world. So probably would not have found recruitment at all because I'd have gone into a financial or management accounting role from chartered. So I left chartered very early without finalising study because I really wanted to travel. I travelled all around Australia. So
any parts of your favourite on your travels?
West Australia and South Australia. And I got engaged in both those states. Be a lot of women.
You left the trail.
In later times, it would have been clapping my hands to get rid of me because I wasn't a good prospect. Until I sort of met Judith, I really wasn't ready to settle down.
Yeah.
And I don't think I was good marriage material. Even though I got engaged, I loved them, but they left me, I didn't leave them. They set work up to the fact that I wasn't going to settle down. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you timed it right then when you met your wife and had 45 years.
Yeah, well, if I'd have married one of them, things would have been completely different. I've never found recruitment. It was only through the promptness that Judy had actually got her job at Revlon as a secretary through Weststaff at Parramatta.
Right.
And I remember that's a funny story too. I remember walking into having the interview. In those days, I wore orange, white, green suits, both the rage, all the rage. And
Everyone was wearing those?
I was pretty stylish. And I interviewed this guy called Doc Castle. He said to me, well, he's not going to send you in to see one of the directors of Weststaff. And this man turned up in a nice conservative blue suit with white shirt, striped tie.
Yeah.
He'd be sitting in an orange suit. And he's about as impressed with me as he could be with someone who was way out of your in terms of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But the more he talked to me, the more he warmed to me. And he said, have you got any other colour suits? I said, no, sir, but I can get some. And he said, all right, I'll let you know on Monday. He said, I'll get back to Doc Castle's in Parramatta. And on the Monday, Doc Castle phoned me on the Friday afternoon and said, turn up for work on Monday at 9 o'clock. He said, you'll be in Parramatta with me. As he met me at the door, he handed me the keys. He said, the branch is all yours. I've just been sacked. I said, what? He said, yeah, mate. He said, I can tell you what, he said, you're lucky the last 6 months here, you'll do well. Because they're very statistically orientated. You had to play 16 people a day.
Wow.
Well, they had a big pool.
What colour suit did you wear on your first day?
Grey. I never pulled in charcoal grey.
Right, okay.
I bet I could put it then. Navy blues and charcoal grey.
Yeah.
But things were hard in them days. Your percentages were low, 2.5%, 3%. I mean, at the end of my career, it was 20 to 25%.
Right.
And retained.
It was low at the start, was it?
Most of the assignments we did were purely Boardroom. At the lower level in aged care, between 15 and 18, most of the assignments I did on the executive recruitment, supply chain, construction, but all at a level of 20 to 25%.
Yeah, struggling to get those these days.
I think you'd be lucky to get 16, 17%.
Thank you so much for that.